Welcome. Welcome back, Shireen, Leah. Chloe, welcome back. Just letting everyone trickle in. Happy Monday, everyone. Thanks for starting your week with us. Go ahead and you can share in the chat box if you'd like to say hello. You can always unmute yourself and say hello now too if you'd like. I'd love to hear your voice.
Hey ladies, welcome.
Give it just a few more seconds to see if anybody else joins. Hope everybody had a yummy, nourishing weekend. I know I did. Super nourishing. Lots of naps. Lots of hiking, movies. All right. Welcome. Yay. See, everybody's trickling in. A little slower. It's a Monday, right? We're just coming on in. I love it. Honoring that flow, as Cass would so invite us to do. Honoring the cycles. Today must be more of a winter. All right, love. So we are at the 3-minute mark, so we are going to get started. So I just invite you, let's get a little grounded. Again, honoring that flow, that beginning to the week, that welcoming back and landing after hopefully a juicy weekend and getting present to what this week has in store for us. So just allowing your eyes to drift closed. And putting one hand on your heart, one on your belly. And just go ahead and take a moment to tune in. Just beginning to notice, how am I feeling right now? Maybe taking this moment, maybe the first moment, to check in with your body and listen to her. What does she have to tell you? And as we land and get present for today's energy activation session, starting to also begin to tune into that energy of the throat chakra, which is today's chakra. And to help us to ground in a little bit. wherever you are. If you're able to speak out loud, then I'm going to invite you to repeat after me, just starting to warm up your voice. And also with the intention that we are creating some safety and some intention going into this week of Radiant Women Rising. And if you can't speak out loud, you can just say it in your mind after I say it. So go ahead and repeat after me. I am here. I am safe. I am present. I am loved. I am here. I am safe. I am present. I am loved. I'm just really feeling the power of your voice, the power of those words in your body, just feeling them penetrate you, giving you the nourishment that you need right here in this moment. And then let's all take one collective deep breath together, breathing in and letting it go. And slowly but gently opening your eyes. All right, beauties. Yay! Yeah, yay! All right, well, today we have a juicy kickoff to get you back into the flow of this experience, Radiant Women Rising, and just celebrating how far we've all come together and how much more juiciness and goodness there is available and in store for this week. And very soon we will be getting into Miss Dewi's gorgeous presentation, her session around the throat chakra. So get excited for that. And before we do, we wanted to take shares as usual. So would love to hear from you. What came up over the weekend? If you joined us during the experience last week, what has been percolating? What is present for you? What breakthroughs, insights, ahas, gems, breakdowns? All of it is welcome. And if you are joining us for the first time, of course, we'd love to hear your voice in this conversation too. And you can feel free to share with us an intention or what brought you to this group. So, insights, gems, breakthroughs, breakdowns, go ahead and hover over your name and you can raise your hand if you'd like to share. Yeah, go ahead, Mandy.
We haven't covered this necessarily in this group, but it feels like a pretty big breakthrough, so it's probably all weaved together. And what that is that I always hear people say you have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And, you know, so sometimes people want you to do like challenge yourself by, hold on, I gotta move it so I don't have to see myself talk. There we go. And so, you know, do something that makes you feel really uncomfortable. And what I realized makes me feel really uncomfortable is I have these ideas and then I have an inspiration and that feels really good. And then it feels like the work kind of sets in and I go, oh, the work. And whether that's every day, you know, doing my meditation or every day doing my walk, or do I really want to eat this chip because it's delicious, or am I avoiding something? And that is where in the everyday normal activity of my life, my uncomfortableness with being uncomfortable come from. And so, yeah, I'm going to get really uncomfortable every day, several times a day, and see what kind of stuff that can bring and what power everyday little tiny choices, not whether I do something big every now and again. And so I think that is the power that I am searching for, or have been searching for and wanting to find right now, is the momentum that comes from those continued persistence and consistency. So that's it.
Beautiful. Thank you, Nandy. Wow. Can everybody else feel her power? I know I can. Wow. Especially at the end there. You were just like, whew. Yeah, it's those little moments. And so really honoring you and celebrating you. And I think we can all relate to that uncomfortable feeling, getting comfortable, feeling uncomfortable. And that is where the juice is. That is when you know you're on the precipice of transformation, right? Like I like to think about like the cocoon, the butterfly, right? It's like a messy, gross, total body liquefying process, that DNA that gets rearranged before it becomes a butterfly. And so just honoring that process. Thank you for
that about feels like where I'm at.
Yeah. Gorgeous. So celebrating you. Thank you, Nandy, for sharing.
Cool.
So important. All right, Chloe.
Well, hi everybody. Chloe Galloway. I'm from New Mexico. Jess is a dear friend of mine. I did not want to speak right now because I feel overwhelmed and sad, and a lot of it is around motherhood. And I thought, you know, it's when you don't want to speak, right? You need to like ask for the breakthrough. So I have barely been able to get on these calls, you know, and so much of it, I just have this like heaviness around being a mom. And then I'm not sure how many of the women on here are mothers. But I start feeling like, oh, a lot of them are probably not moms. And I have this thing where I feel the heaviness of being a mom and the heaviness of like feeling like women that aren't mothers have all this freedom. And I really want to connect with people, and I don't want to have judgments. And I know that judgment is just coming from a pain place. And that's why I didn't want to say anything, right? I didn't want to say anything because I don't actually want to upset anyone, or I don't want the feelings to come out wrong. And yet this is something I really want to get through. Like, I don't want to feel this way about being a mom. Like, it just feels like there's so little space for me. Like, I have some days I can't get on here at all. The days that I've gotten on, it's literally like fly by the seat of my pants. My computer's not working. I'm using my phone. I'm in the hammock. I'm halfway, like I could be in my underwear, people. Like, I mean, it is so messy. And I've been homeschooling my kids, and they just finished this week, right? But I don't even know what to say. I feel really like a huge hot mess right now. That's a Jess word, right? Like, and I feel like so much of it relates to motherhood, and it makes me mad because I'm honestly such an incredible together person. And yet when I have my daughter having a meltdown for an hour and then I'm trying to get on here, I'm just like, I don't even know if I should be on, or like, I'm just trying to connect and it feels really difficult. And I'm so ungrounded because it takes me, you know, some time after dealing with certain things with my kids to even get grounded. I guess I keep getting on, and maybe that's the win, because at least when I get on, I am on, and I am willing to be present, right? And I think that matters. But I just want to cry. I'm like, that's all I'm going to say. I just thank you for holding space.
You are so beautiful, Chloe, and I'm really honoring you for just how you show up, even in the messiness. It's gorgeous. You're here. Your vulnerability just is so needed. Thank you. Thank you for bringing that. And thank you for calling out what you're going through. There were several other women that raised their hands that were resonating with being a mother and having it be really fucking hard. And so thank you for speaking to that. Let's all, yeah, you're welcome. Let's all love up on Chloe. Let's just rub our hands together and hold them out and just give her so much love and energy.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thanks.
Thank you for sharing, Chloe. All right, I got Mary. Oh,
married at 16. Am I muted?
You were muted, but now we can hear you.
Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to say that it's appropriate that I would call you or follow you, Chloe. I was pregnant, married at 16. I come from a very large family, and I'm very proud to tell you that Nandy and Patricia are my family. Trisha's my daughter and Nandy is my niece. And I had 9 nieces and nephews, and I spent much of my early life raising 7 of them between my mom and I. And I went to school, had 36, and my entire life has been devoted to children and families. I have been a home visitor, an early interventionist, a preschool teacher, you name it, it's been kids and family. And I love that. And it has been one of my greatest joys. It's also been very, very difficult because I have not had until my 40s, I did not have the balance to love and care for the kids and my family that I wanted to, and be me. I started my undergrad when I was 36, and it was very nice. Trisha started her undergrad that year too, so we kind of grew up together in some ways. But what I wanted to tell you is I turned 61 yesterday, and I woke up, yay!
Yeah, that's a celebration.
It's so good. For one, I want to tell you, I turned 61. I've had one son that died. I've wondered if that makes me less of a mom. It doesn't. I've had a radical hysterectomy. I've wondered if that made me less of a woman. It doesn't. So I want to tell you that you are strong, you are whole, you are complete, simply in who and how you are. And yesterday I woke up, and we love to go to Lowe's. My husband and I are builders and artists. We hadn't been to Lowe's in 3 months. We went early so we could be there at 5:59, at 6 when they woke up. We wouldn't have to face the crowds. We got there, well, they don't open until 7 on Sundays. So my whole day ended up being different than what I had planned for my birthday. And Patricia last week had said, Mom, I'll cook dinner for you and Pete at my house. Come at this time, we'll do this. Well, with starting at being at Lowe's early, it just didn't work out. And so about 3 o'clock, I was very hesitant, but I called Trish and I said, Trish, I don't want to come to dinner. I don't want to do that. Can we just pick up another time? And she said, of course, Mom, of course you can. Well, so I got off the phone and I felt like, oh shit, I just denied my daughter to give her a mother birthday gift and all of this stuff. I did my pendulum, all that. And I called her back and I said, can how about I just come to your house and we physically distance? I'll wear my mask, you wear yours. And even though we're in the same neighborhood, we have not been close 3.5 months, I guess 4 times, a couple of walks at the river and so what. And so I went over and met at her house, and her house feels like my house and vice versa. So the rainbows were everywhere from the prisms and the flowers and the good smells and the incense available and all this. So I went into a rainbow spot and I smudged and cleansed myself and got very quiet. And she was in there making me lemon tea that I love. And we ended up hanging out, and she did a spread of cards for me. We love cards and decks, and she has a new deck. And I'd asked her last week, I said, can I touch it? And she said, no, you can't touch it. It's new. So that's good that she could do that. So she pulled a card for me, and it was just fabulous. And while I was there were all these dings coming in from my friends and my family. And I was in education for 30 years. So I get a lot of dings. I was born and raised hometown. Nandy called and sang me happy birthday. And I just wanted to tell you that it was small, but it was huge, that I would call and say, thanks. But no, daughter, that's not what I want to do. No, husband, that's not what I want to do. This is what I want to do.
Yeah.
And I just last week, people said, call out, type in, what are you feeling? What did you gather from this? And what I can tell you is, I didn't speak it, but I will tell it to you today. I am wise, and I feel that. And it's all right for me to look at the challenges, look at the times that I fell down and skinned my knees, and bless and honor those, but also to stop and look right now and say, it's all right for me to say that I'm wise. I'm 61 years old. I'm older than many of you. I have faced some harsh realities, and my biggest gift is that I have been loved and loved many. So I just want to tell you, as I look at all your beautiful faces and I hear these different practices that each of you are finding joy and comfort in, I hear the difficulty of motherhood. I so know that. And yet, every one of us do something important. Motherhood is important, and it is very difficult. It is also important for the women that choose not to have children, because they bring a gift and a strength and a holding of a space for us that is unlike we hold as mothers. So this continual blend of everybody, it is necessary. And who and how you are, regardless of if you're in that gooey mess or you're standing strong and still, just hold on, because you're going to weave in and out of all of that stuff. And we're all doing just fine. I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful that I'm taking this hour and a half every day to sit with you all. I love you. I send out heart from New Mexico, and all is well. It truly is.
Beautiful share, Mary.
Time.
Thank you.
Blessings.
Beautiful
Nice
share. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Wow. Really honoring you. Thanks. All right. So, I see you, Stephanie. We're going to have to move on. So thank you for wanting to share. We're going to get into it so we can have time to make sure Dewi can share all of her goodness and magic, and you guys can get all that you came for. There will, of course, be more time for shares at the end. So thank you. Wow. Whew. Can you guys feel that? Powerful shares this morning. I'm really feeling it. All right. So we're going to move into Dewi, Maile Lim, the beautiful, gorgeous goddess over there in Hawaii. Is going to be presenting around the throat chakra today. And her topic is your voice, your story, your medicine. So excited to introduce you all to Dewi. She's an artist and a creative business coach. And I will just share that Dewi was one of the gorgeous goddesses that came into this collaboration with our group of 7 that I didn't know. I didn't know Dewi before the last like month or so. And what I've come to know about her is she has this beautiful way of listening. Like she just hears you and listens, and not only is so present, but listens for what's not being said, listens for truth, listens. Like during this whole collaboration, when we were creating Radiant Women Rising for all of you, she would just come in and ask these questions that nobody had thought of. And that power to be such a deep listener is so magical. And I love her so much. And I wish I was in Hawaii right now. And so may I introduce to you Dewi. Dewi, thank you for being with us.
My pleasure. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Awesome.
Do you want to share a little bit more around the work that you do in the world with all of these gorgeous goddesses?
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for the beautiful introduction. I'm so grateful to know you through this experience. So I am a stand for co-creating this experience of heaven on earth in my lifetime. And I particularly love to collaborate and work with women who consider themselves visionary in some way, who have this desire to want to share their mix of their gifts, skills, and talents as their own medicine, which we'll go into more in my presentation, and to thrive as a result of that, and to help make the world a more loving, peaceful, and joyous place. So whatever that looks like for the people that I collaborate with, that's kind of like a broad umbrella of what unites us all together. And I have a women's group called Visionary Sisterhood that does similar experiences where we're circling, and I just love life, and whatever I can do to support the women in my life to experience more of the dream that they came here to serve, like I'm all about it. So yeah, that can be expressed in a lot of different ways, but I'll just share that for now.
Beautiful. And what does a Radiant Woman Rising mean for you?
Radiant Women Rising is a activated vision of each of us coming together in our own unique way to, first of all, accept where we've been at and all of our trials and tribulations, and to see that as the gold that makes us who we are. And even in our mess that we've had, in our messiness, that can be part of our message and how we're here to serve. And so as a Radiant Women Rising, you show up in all of that, no matter where you're at. And you can be up one day or feel down another, and you can still show up authentically as yourself and be in your radiance, because no one else can own your own experience but you. And there's a gift in that, and you being able to show up in that and be courageous enough to share authentically from that place. So I feel that's a Radiant Woman.
I love that. And I love that. I'm going to remember that. That's like burned in my brain. Your mess is part of your message. Everyone write that down. Oh, yes.
Yeah, I got that from Lisa Nichols.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I love her. Awesome. Well, thank you for that, Jen. Yeah, so
Sure.
good. And what about for this throat chakra that you're teaching around? Like, how do you see the throat chakra really helping women to rise in their radiance?
There's a lot here. I'll go into this more in my presentation. Really, the throat is how we project our sovereignty, our presence on the planet. We can show up with our beingness. We don't always need to speak, but the throat is a channel for transmissions to happen. And it's just amazing the way we can first for ourselves, connect into our own voice. Like it has to all start there. So really, there's just so much juiciness in this chakra. I mean, we have many voices. We have our silent voice, we have our singing voice, we have our spoken voice. And so all of those areas are ways that we can really explore and express and come into the embodiment of this chakra. That's what I'll say for now. There's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, there's so much, right? With this one for, I mean, all of them, but with this one for women, I definitely feel is just wow. And what about like, do you have a small snapshot of a way that this chakra has impacted your own ability to rise in your radiance?
Yeah, I had a distinct, I guess, experience happen for me around the time whenever the Amazon fires were going on, and there was a lot of talk about that and concern in the collective, at least in my circles. And I just felt an activation of like, I can't not speak my truth anymore. I felt a distinct dissolving of any fear around what that could mean, whether it, you know, to the extreme death or persecution, or, you know, I think that's like collectively as women, just from whatever influence in the ethos or, you know, in the ethers that's out there, that this is shared, like this feeling of not feeling safe to even know what my position is or what my voice is. So through that experience, since then, I've just been, you know, as inspired, I share what's up for me and I share my truth. And I'm very grateful that I don't have that fear anymore.
Beautiful. Thank you. All right. Are you going to guide us in with your activation sound?
Yes. So I have the throat chakra bowl today, which is in the key of G and the astrological sign of Scorpio. Please enjoy. Okay, well, I guess I'll just get right into it. So I'm going to share my screen so you can see my presentation. So again, this is called Your Voice, Your Story, and Your Medicine. So in this session, we're going to receive the loving support to be seen and heard as we are authentically, to connect with the power of our voice and our inner wild woman through a guided visualization process that I'm going to lead you through. We're going to learn a framework for telling our story to connect further with those that you're wanting to inspire in your life or in business, so that they lean in and take action if they're resonating with what you have to share. And then I'm going to also leave you with an outline for your story medicine. It's a powerful process you can repurpose over and over again. And there's a lot of different ways you can use it in social media, through video, or through emails or blog posts, or just even speaking to someone one-on-one. And I will give you this format through a follow-up sequence, because there's only so much we're going to be able to get into today. So just know that that'll be coming your way. So the throat chakra is so awesome. I adore the voice. We have this beautiful image symbolizing the chakra. The color of blue is represented here, and the sound is hum. So if everyone would just take a moment to make a hum sound, hum. That is the sound as you focus in your throat chakra that will help to activate and balance it. It's a multi-dimensional chakra, so I'll say more about that in a little bit. But it has all kinds of juiciness in it. The embodiment of voice comes through it. It's how we express ourselves. This quality of assertiveness can come through when it's activated. It's really our trust center for ourselves, first and foremost, and then how others can come to trust us. Obviously, communication happens through this chakra, and other qualities include being heard. So here's a little bit more about the multi-dimensional quality of the throat chakra. So the throat chakra is about expressing ourselves, our truth, our purpose in life, and creativity. And if you remember Cass's presentation of the sacral chakra, creativity was a big part of that as well. So this chakra actually has a natural connection with the sacral chakra, the center of emotions and creativity as well. And the throat chakra in particular has an emphasis on expressing and projecting this creative energy into the world, into its perfect form. Perfect form just meaning that it's authentic, through our authenticity and through showing up as who we are in the moment. So how many of you are familiar with Joseph Campbell? He wrote so many books. He's a classic figure in the world of mythology, and really this idea of the hero's journey. So this is a quote that Joseph Campbell shares. "The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek." So I want you to all just allow that to be with you as we continue to journey in this experience. So getting into this concept of this presentation, your voice, your story, your medicine. Let's talk about the voice first. So your voice is a metaphor for your truth, your perspective, and your unique expression. So as I mentioned earlier, I want you to just consider, perhaps for the first time, that we have aspects of our voice that aren't necessarily projecting out through the mouth, through expression in that way. We have our silent voice, the inner knowing, perhaps that inner dialogue even that we have with ourselves in relationship to ourselves. And that can ebb and flow, right? How can we bring more presence to what that voice, that silent voice, is inside of ourselves? We have our speaking voice. Obviously, that's how we're communicating, how we're getting our message across. And then our sung voice. So we're going to have an opportunity through the journey process that I lead to play with that as well. And we'll all be on mute, so no one's going to be able to hear you. I just invite you to allow that possibility for you to express in that way today with me to come forward. And we have our story. It's the blend of our life experience. What I mentioned as well earlier when Jess was asking me those questions. You know, we have messiness that we experience in our life. And would you be willing to consider that mess as your greatest gift? That's something that no one else has ever experienced before, but maybe by you sharing it, someone can feel like they're not alone. You know, we already are witnessing that in this circle, how by sharing what's coming up for us, we actually can see that we're not alone. Even in our story that we might have had going about somebody else's being different from us, we can find our unique, we can express our uniqueness while also finding our inherent universality when we share our stories. And of course, our triumphs come in through that too. You know, there's if we allow ourselves to really reflect on all of the wins and all of the amazing growth and expansion we've had along our journey, that needs to come in too when we're sharing our story, our insights and our awarenesses, and also our vision of what we want to create in the world, what we are calling forward for ourselves, and the wisdom that makes us uniquely us, the wisdom that makes you uniquely you. Another quote by Joseph Campbell: our trials are what transform our consciousness along the way. And I believe that humanity is in this experience of transforming consciousness collectively, and of course individually, that's our own role to do within ourselves. So if we can see exercising and sharing our story as a way that we are transforming consciousness, that is what's so. And then finally, our medicine. This is the perspective that you, in your glorious messiness, in your perfection, in your brilliance, in your crazy, in your forgetfulness, and in your tender heart, you can share these aspects of your experience as part of your heroine's journey and as medicine to assist others. And I want you to consider this, that you are healed enough to be the medicine that others can benefit from receiving. So I would love to get a check-in from our time goddess, Elizabeth. Where are we at, sister?
We have about 16 minutes till we want to move to breakout.
Okay, great. Woo! So I am just, I feel so inspired right now. So this is going to be maybe different for some of you, or maybe you've done this type of experience before. This is going to be a journey where we vision together, and I'm going to use my drum, has a heart on it, and I invite you all to, as I drum and lead us through this guided process, to just drop in and allow yourself to receive whatever wants to come forward, and trust into the safety of this container, trust into the safety of what comes up for you is perfect and you are able to calibrate that information, trust into the knowing that you are safe no matter what throughout this experience. And I'm just going to set a timer for myself so I stay on track here. Okay, ladies, so if you haven't already, allow yourself now to close your eyes and breathe deeply throughout this entire experience. In through the nose and out through the mouth. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Envision yourself completely enveloped in the most pristine and soothing cocoon of sparkling rainbow colored light. This light, it fills, surrounds, and protects you. And it's here only to benefit you. You feel safe, activated, delighted even, and curious. Allow this light to work with you now and only be a benefit to you. Now I invite you to drop into yourself, become aware of yourself, that infinite and yet human part of yourself, that part of your consciousness that is there. If you want to put a hand on your heart, one on your belly, I invite you now to say to yourself these words. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. This is a Kuna philosophy called Ho'oponopono. I'm sorry. I love you. Please forgive me. Thank you. Continue to allow that energy to ground into your experience. And next, I want you to invite your playful inner child forward. You can't find her, just trust that she's there. And in her voice, that playful inner child voice, you could give her a voice. I invite you to have her say that Ho'oponopono prayer. I'm sorry. I love you. Please forgive me. Thank you. Or maybe she wants to sing. I'm sorry. I love you. Please forgive me. Thank you. Thank you, your playful child, for expressing through you. Next, I invite you to connect with your wild woman, your radiant rebel, that part of you that may or may not be fully expressed right now. She's there. There might even be some of the playful child that expresses through her. With your radiant rebel, with your wild woman energy, I invite you to say this Ho'oponopono prayer to yourself. I am sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. Feel her power as she utters these words. Or perhaps she sings them. I am sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. Now I invite you to connect with your sensual side, your sexy feminine, the juicy part of yourself that is so luscious, so delightful, and so divine. Allow her presence to be fully witnessed now inside yourself. From that juicy place, say in a juicy and enjoyable and pleasurable way to yourself, I am sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. Yeah. Get into that juicy energy with us. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Make it feel good. I love you. Thank you. Now allow all these aspects of yourself, the brilliant, multidimensional aspects of yourself, sister, allow them to all coalesce as one. into your heart space, into your throat space, into your sacral space, into your power center, into all of your chakras. She is one because we say she is. She is integrated and whole because we say she is. She is ready to shine because we say she is. She is you. She is safe. I wanted you to take a moment now. Your hand isn't on your heart, on your belly still. Perhaps you want to bring it back there. I'm going to take a moment and drop in with her wisdom, your wisdom. I'm going to ask her a few questions. Whatever she has to share, allow that to be your truth. Her truth as your truth. Here are the questions. What is it that I am now ready to share with the world? What aspect of my journey that I had previously downplayed or looked over is important to be revealed? And how does sharing this part of my story with others relate to taking the next steps in my life and or business? To have one. Continuing to breathe deeply, trusting that these questions will continue to percolate through this experience with us today, trusting that whatever she has to share already is accessible and right here available for you now. I invite you to flutter your eyes open. And could I please get a time check, Elizabeth?
We have about 7 minutes.
Okay, thank you. So if you ladies have a journal available or a way to take notes, just jot down what came forward from you from that experience. What medicine are you now ready to share with the world? And what aspect of your journey that you had previously downplayed or looked over is important to be revealed in service to you? And Trish, you can actually put this in the comments now, the journaling comments. If you haven't already, I haven't been looking at the comments at all. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. So what aspect of your journey that you have previously downplayed or looked over is important to be revealed? And what is it that you are now ready to share? Your medicine. What medicine are you ready to share with the world? Just take a moment to jot also anything that came up through your experience, any imagery or any juiciness that came up for you. And if you'd like to share any of that in the comments, you're welcome to as well. And just take another moment for that. And I also want to share with you now this impacts the story medicine formula. So I don't have a lot of time to go into it right now, but this will come to you as a fill in the blank type of how to. So just thinking of what came forward for you through that experience, that is the pearl that I'm going to invite you all to share. And even if it's just writing this for yourself, you can start there. And this is the way that you're going to formulate that is as a written piece that you can start to craft out. So basically here, you're starting with, this idea, your mess is your message. starting with your struggle, what was hard for you, then transitioning into your vision and really what you're calling forward for yourself. So how this could look if you're in business is if you are having something you want to share with the world, like an offer, could be free, it could be paid, or even if you don't have a business, if you are raising money for a cause or something that you deeply believe in, you can offer that opportunity to someone in the form of a story medicine post or share, so that you can show your personal experience and reason why you're passionate about what you're wanting someone to do or inviting somebody to do with this formula. So that's why it's important to share the arc of your story from where you were to where you are now to where you're headed. So the heroine's journey is really what you're weaving through together in this. And at the end, you will create an invitation for that person that you're writing this for to share with, to join you further in that. And I also wanted to mention that I am going to be doing a more in-depth free workshop for any of you who want to dive into this further. I just really wanted you to first get into the juiciness of what it is, that pearl, for you to share, and then we can dive deeper through the worksheet that I'm going to give you, as well as the Q&A or the bonus session on Thursday, as well as this bonus workshop that I'm going to be offering you all. So we have a few minutes to go over what we're going to do in our small group shares today. And yes. Oh. Every single day. I'll do it out there, okay. But please don't. Okay. We had a room scheduling conflict just now. Okay, so ladies, I invite you to consider these following questions in your breakout sessions, the same ones that Patricia posed earlier. And it is, what is it that you are ready to share with the world, and what aspect of your journey that you previously downplayed or looked over is important to be revealed. And we're gonna each have 7 minutes to share. Is that right, Jess? I'm getting the logistics right. And at the midway point, we will let you ladies know when to switch with your partner. Sound good? Everybody clear? Okay.
Beautiful. And just a reminder that if you get paired in a room and your partner is not responding, make sure to hit that button that says leave room, which will bring you right back here, and then I'll be able to pair you into another room so that you can work on this and dive in, because this is super exciting. So make sure, we'd love for you to turn on your camera so that your partner can see you. Obviously, if that's not possible and you still are able to participate, just making sure to unmute yourself so that you can talk. All right, loves, well, have a great time, and I will let you know through the pop-up message that will go on your screen when it is time to switch by saying switch, and you'll each have 7 minutes. So have a great time.
Hey, girl.
All right.
Aloha. I'm so excited to hear from you all. Yay. Woo. So, is that pretty much everyone? I think so, huh? Yay. Okay, beautiful. How was that for you ladies? Could we get a share or two? Yeah? Who would like to share how that was for them? Any of the experience so far? Nandi, come on.
I'm going to say it out loud so I don't chicken out. Okay?
Say it.
I'm going to start a little monthly women's group of my own because I've never had that. I have Trish and Aunt Mary in my family, which is super wonderful. But I've never had like a group of women that I'm close with that are going through this sort of thing. And it's been one of the major gifts. And I was paired with Shannon and she was talking with me and how she had her group. And so she's going to allow me to pick her brain. And so I'm saying it out loud. So check on me, Trish, Mary, let me know.
I was muted. That's so awesome. Thank you for speaking it into this space and claiming what you are creating in the world. Okay, so Jess just said she's pairing everyone intuitively. Who else would like to share? Anything about our process so far today?
Shireen has her hand up, Dewi.
Oh, thank you for that. Yay. Shireen, come on in.
Thank Mary for our time and for her being so vulnerable and allowing to have a heart connection. I so few have that in my life with people, and to spend that time was just, there wasn't words. It was amazing. And her words of wisdom and strength, and just for being who she is. I just want to tell her thank you, and I appreciate her. Appreciate all of you.
So beautiful. Yeah, these breakout rooms have turned out to be pretty magical. Anyone else like to share? Did anybody sing when they were going through the visioning at all? I was having my own experience when I was going through that. I cried and I just had my own transmission come through. Stephanie.
I couldn't find the raise hand button. So I wanted to share that I feel that this day of the throat chakra came so perfectly, and I hope others feel that, because you all have brought us through so many of the other centers of power that it's like we're able to now hear so much more of our voice and say so much more. And I'm glad I wasn't able to actually share this before, because after speaking with Trish, like there was so much more dimension to what I wanted to say. And I'm not used to sharing my story. So I do want to actually share a win, which is how Patricia helped me put it. I have 18-year-old daughters, and I basically grew up with them. So we have a wonderful relationship, but there's times where I get really triggered, obviously, we all do. And I'll kind of beat myself up about it, and I'll want to try harder the next day, and it keeps happening and happening. Just little moments where I'm I feel like I jump out of my skin and I jump onto them. That's what being triggered feels like to me. I lose ownership of my own self and I jump into their bubble. And so yesterday at dinner, someone said something, or it was probably eating in a certain way that I just wanted to snap at, and I felt my energy come out and almost pounce on them, and then I just sucked it back in, and it felt so empowering that I was able to just feel to feel that split second of choice. And I think it's really come from this experience of making me feel so much more centered in myself. And so thank you.
Wow, how powerful. That's amazing. And to be able to have that sense of self and to be in awareness of that interplay that you've had, you know, and then to just choose another way. You know, that's the power of every moment and every choice we have. And to be able to reflect on that as like, oh, this is the arc of my story, and that's now I've like birthed into a new way of being, and continuing to just make that choice and affirming it. Yay. Anyone else feel called to share anything? I'd love to hear if anyone had like about the visioning part, how that was for anyone. Anyone has something to share on that too, or whatever you feel inspired. I'm particularly curious about that too. Estelle.
Okay, so I just wanted to say thank you for hearing me with Cass. That was perfect. Like has went going through what I'm like starting to go through, so it's crazy. She's 2 boys and I have 2 boys, blah blah blah. But it was awesome that you asked us to acknowledge those different facets of ourselves, because I learned that it wasn't until yesterday that I actually got in touch with that in myself, which I haven't heard in I'd say like in forever, just being so like overwhelmed by my whole situation. But I took my youngest one to the beach. It was just him and I, and we just played and, you know, let the surf take us, the waves, and we dug in sand with all the other kids. And I haven't listened to that inner child of myself in forever. And for you to call that out and for us to acknowledge that even more, that was like reaffirming everything. So thanks. Ho'oponopono for sure.
Yes.
Thanks for using that phrase. That is so fitting.
Oh,
Thanks
yeah.
for bringing that in. Okay.
Welcome. Thank you for sharing that. Yes. Deep bow to Jess for her intuitive pairing skills, because this is like just been so perfect. Everything that every time we're paired. So do we have time for one more, or shall we transition, Jess?
I say one more.
Okay. Anyone feel inspired? Well, I can just share a few things to wrap up if no one else feels called.
I can do something if you want. I was trying to hold space for others, but
yeah, if you have something if you'd like to.
Yeah, I really did receive from this, I'll just say. And I think, I don't know, so I've been getting, really oriented towards divorce and body shame as 2 pieces that have been like things that I can offer medicine for. But also with today, there's just been this big mother wound theme, and that is serious alive for me, because I've had a story that is just so unconventional, and you can see like a societal like condemnation to me for taking a different route, basically. But essentially, I'm in a place where everybody is so much happier and so much more connected. And so, I feel like there can be a, shame around mothering in a non-traditional way. There can be a shame around body, and there can be shame around divorce. I feel like that's kind of what I really want to do for women, is unravel the shame piece so we can get into our wild woman. So, yeah.
Beautiful. I see you supporting so many women with that, Cass. Awesome. Well, just one last thing, and then I'm going to hand it over to Jess. As a reminder, the story medicine format will come to you in your guys' email tomorrow. So just look for that, and I'm here. If you have any questions as well, you can ping me via the contact form, and that we have all of our information on. And just know I'm looking forward to seeing what you come up with. Thank you.
Beautiful. Wow, what a way to kick off today and the beginning of our second week together. Thank you, Dewi. Let's just give her some love. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Beautiful. And so much more goodness coming. Yes. I'm so excited. I don't think I've ever been this excited to do such a long experience. But each day I'm just like, wow, I cannot wait to see each of your faces, and I cannot wait to be here and just soak in the wisdom of each radiant leader who is doing the energy activation session for the day, and just to hear the shares. And so my heart is just so full, and I'm guessing each of yours is as well. And I just thank you for bringing your presence, your voice, your energy. I thank you so much for continuing to show up. And so just a few reminders. Tomorrow, we are getting into our third eye chakra, and Miss Elizabeth Shaw, the gorgeous Elizabeth Shaw, is going to be presenting, and her topic is shifting from human doing to human being. We've all been feeling that, right? So be sure to come back for tomorrow for Elizabeth's session. I'm super excited. Definitely need that in my life right now. And then just a few other reminders to what Dewi was speaking about, the resource that she's going to be sharing with all of you each day in your daily email. At the bottom, there's additional links. And so the link to the replays is there. And I'll also be including her link for her resource in that same area, as well as Sherry had a resource that she shared. And I've got that as well that I will be including. So stay tuned for both of those resources. And then thank you again for all of you who are sharing and taking part in our social media wave, ripple effect wave. Yeah, spreading the joy, spreading the love and inspiration. We see you. Keep using the Radiant Women Rising hashtag. And I'm just going to drop the link again. Oh, that's not the link. I only copied part of the link. Here's the link to our Google Drive folder. And this is the folder where you will find all the different images for each day. Dewi actually painted her image. So go, if anything, go and click into that folder and see her image. And I know Cass drew her image, and then the other ladies found beautiful images as well that represented their daily topic. So all of those are in there. And then just a reminder, if you do want to join us for the bonus Q&A happy hour call on Thursday, which will be after our usual closing ceremony session, then you will need to have posted all 7 images or your own images. We don't really care what goes out there, just as long as you're spreading the love. And then making sure to have sent me email proof that you did all 7 posts, so that I can make sure to send you the Zoom link in order to join that call. And that will need to be done by Wednesday, so that I can get you the call link for Thursday. All of the directions are in that folder that I just posted. There's a document that says instructions, so you can read everything you need to know should be in there, but you can always reach me. Jessica@jessicatomlinson.com is my email. I'm here to help, so don't hesitate to reach out. And we will see all you ladies tomorrow. Continue spreading the love, and thank you, goddesses. Let's do an unmute all. Let's do a very good, very good, very good yay to close out on the count of 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Very good, very good, very good.
Yay!
Goodbye, ladies.
Bye,
everyone.
Aloha.
Bye.
Wonderful day. Aloha.
Thank you, everyone.
Love you. Thank you.
Yay.
Love, love, love. Yay.